Collecting manga is fantastic. Not only does it act as a personal offline library, it's a flammable trophy cabinet filled with collectibles, planning lists, and completed series. With each manga fan comes a wide range of ways to collect this literature. So here are all the ways I've personally purchased manga as a weeb based in London. What kind of London-based weeb would I be if I did not mention Forbidden Planet? The holy land of comics, Gundams, merchandise, and 3for2 manga. The London main store is located in Tottenham Court Road, right next to the popular anime figure store called Annie Metal. The first floor is dedicated to merchandise such as Funko Pops, apparel, Gundams, and sometimes smeeskis that are hidden behind the front counter. The lower ground floor is the home of tabletop RPG and literature enthusiasts. We've got board games, acrylic click-clacks, comics, and manga. The manga area has a grand selection of book types, from collector's editions, light novels, single volume series, western manga, and even delectable secrets wrapped in plastic. All series sold at Forbidden Planet are English publications, so if you're looking for an underground title that is yet to be translated, like Black Sesame Salt and Custard Pudding, it may be worth going elsewhere. The shop is fantastic for collecting larger series due to its generous 3for2 offer. It's definitely contributed in collecting series such as Slam Dunk, Tokyo Ghoul, and One Punch Man. Manga I've purchased from here include Executor and Stray Kitten, as well as the infamous Dock Fight Island. I'd recommend purchasing manga in the shop as opposed to online, as there's no collection service for UK customers, and the postage and packaging is charged on top of your purchase. So if you're optimizing the 3for2 offer, there's a chance you may not be saving that much at all if you purchase online. I do also enjoy being able to see the physical book before purchasing it, just to make sure it's not damaged or bent. That's not to say that this is the only Forbidden Planet. There's also a handful scattered across the UK in wonderful places, such as Brighton, Edinburgh, and Cardiff. This is an industrial chic bookshop located in Soho. Much like Forbidden Planet, this store has 2 floors. The street level floor is dedicated to art books, stationery, children's books. The basement floor is stocked up on comics and manga, with the more predominant medium being comics. In comparison to Forbidden Planet, this shop is a lot smaller, which results in the manga inventory being quite limited. In regards to what stock they do have a surprising amount of variety, as this shop celebrates book titles rather than mass-selling shonen series for a profit. Due to the store being independently run, it has an advantage over Forbidden Planet, which is collecting purchases in store. There's no worry about missing out on a new release when you can purchase it beforehand and pick it up at your convenience. You could grab a coffee in Blank Street, go on the London Eye, and know that your brand new manga is still waiting for you in the shop. If purchasing books and British culture were circles in a Venn diagram, the one chain that would emerge from the overlap would be the quintessential literature shop, which is Waterstones. There are countless amount of Waterstones across the country. Every town and every city within Great Britain has a Waterstones. 90% of their inventory is literature, however the remaining 10% is board games, merchandise, and stunning stationery. Waterstones is usually categorized by genre, with manga having its own dedicated section. It may not be a grand selection, however you're more likely to encounter manga illustration books alongside their corresponding manga. Though the shop is so integrated into British culture, it does come with some downsides. There are rarely any deals, so you'll be purchasing manga at the highest price. There are no 3for2 offers like Forbidden Planet and no discounts like Travelling Man. However, Waterstones is frequently collaborating with iconic venues such as the V&A Museum, Kew Gardens, and the British Museum, so you can buy absolutely stunning book accessories. Side note, Waterstones is a hidden gem for buying Pokemon cards. They often have stock of rare sets and premium collection boxes, I've managed to just stumble into a Waterstones to see the Evolution VMAX premium boxes on the shelf, just chilling there like a nonchalant cat with no urgency to leave. Another smaller chain bookstore includes Japan Craft. This shop is relatively new and focuses on manga and anime merchandise. Japan Craft is located in one of London's most overrated cities in my opinion, and that is Camden. I find the area to be incredibly overcrowded and filled with a lot of tourist traps and TikTok trends. The other in-person shops I recommended in this video can be visited in any time of the week, and it's still quite a pleasant experience. Japan Craft itself also fits comfortably within this category, however it's the town surrounding the shop that I would avoid at all costs on the weekend. However, Camden can be very enjoyable during the day on a weekday, as there are much smaller crowds and over-invasive market stalls are kept to a minimum. Being focused on selling anime and manga merchandise, expect to see items such as Gundam kits, Chopper plushies and Ramune in Japan Craft. With the shop, there are long shelves of niche English printed manga and a surprising amount of box sets, including Nichijou, Akira and Sailor Moon. Similar to Waterstones, Japan Craft sells manga at the asking price. Discounts and deals are far and few between. This is the only physical shop that I've seen that sells 3-foot figures. Previously, I've only seen these figures to be sold online or used for display purposes only. Those have been my main IRL places to buy manga, but what about digital? Our first stop is Amazon, good for quick next day delivery, however it is atrocious for pre-orders. I tried ordering Automan back in January. Initially it mentioned the delivery would be middle of March. The night before the delivery date, I got a notification that the date had changed to September or October. If they knew the date was going to change, I would much prefer they just state the date that it's actually going to be shipped, rather than this cat and mouse game of when I'm going to get superhero romance. I've had a lot of experiences similar to this, with the hopes of manga arriving before Christmas and then getting pushed to a few months later. So if you're thinking about pre-ordering a manga from Amazon, I would highly recommend against it. Their stock is huge, and I mean humongous. It's great for getting manga that is highly unlikely to hit the shelves of retail stores, or if they do hit the stores, it's going to be a very limited stock. So that's why I've purchased manga such as She Loves to Cook, She Loves to Eat, and Pirates of the Caribbean. Though in doing so, I would always say order with caution. There is not much dedication to the packaging process. The packers slip an unwrapped book in cardboard packaging, which in theory is good, but if the packaging gets wet, crushed or torn, it's highly unlikely that the book will arrive unscathed. With that being said, prices can be below average. There tends to be quite a few deals on the website, but it's hit or miss on when those deals arrive, so just keep an eye out. But yeah, overall, Amazon is great for purchasing in-stock manga quickly, but there's something about purchasing manga off Amazon that makes me question my morals. I feel like every manga I buy is another flower that Katy Perry takes into space. I don't know, it feels weird. Going from a not so goated digital store to an absolutely goated digital store, and that is Travelling Man. Yes, the delivery dates are not as fast as a multi-billion pound mega company, but it is totally worth it. Travelling Man reasonably prices their manga, averaging around £7 for a standard volume. And not only do they sell manga, but they also sell board games, miniatures and merchandise. I've started to transition over to Travelling Man for purchasing my manga digitally, though I thoroughly enjoy the homely feel of the shops when I do get the opportunity to put my head in. Purchasing manga from here also just makes my soul feel happy. Not only am I supporting a small business chain, but it fuels their social media presence. They've got a humorous digital presence, and they frequently collaborate with anime and manga content creators. And did you know the CEO of Travelling Man, Nabil Homsi, is married to one of the most iconic bakers of the Great British Bake Off, Kim Joy? I was so sad when she got eliminated. Unfortunately, there are none in London, but I got my fingers crossed for them arriving one day. But you can find them in cities such as Newcastle, Leeds, Manchester, and my personal favourite, York. I'm currently in the process of purchasing the entirety of Sweat and Soap, in which I currently own volumes 1 to 7. The manga is packaged brilliantly, with plenty of styrofoam beans to prevent any damages throughout the delivery process. Are you hearing this, Amazon? They take care of their books. Welcome to the wild, wild west of digital purchasing. From Hexscale Funko Pops to Jean-Paul Gaultier mesh tattoo tops to a Union Jack Mini Cooper, eBay has everything, including manga. There are a lot of questions that follow suit when ordering manga from sellers. Delivery could be 2 days, it could be 2 months. Not to mention you have no clue who is on the other side of selling a manga. Are they a scammer? Are they a fellow manga collector? Did they wash their hands before packaging the manga? These are all valid questions to be asking yourself when making any purchase across eBay. You can often get manga cheaper than brand new manga due to its pre-owned conditions. Not to mention it's the go-to place for purchasing limited edition manga or manga that is no longer available for commercial purchasing. As an example of manga that I've purchased through eBay, I've managed to collect Monster Wrestling Interspecies Combat Girls and Sarzan and Comic Girl. One extra perk of purchasing books off of eBay is that manga is often sold in bulk due to other collectors usually having a reorganize or a clear out. So it's a great place to go for gifts for people who are trying to get into manga or just want an entire series. This website defines the phrase, "One man's trash is another man's treasure." This is the place to go for buying Japanese manga, other than actually going to Japan. When it comes to printing manga, books are often published in Japanese before being translated and published in English, French, or German. Purchasing Japanese books for me feels like I'm supporting the mangaka more directly and almost feels like I'm a part of a secret club within this fandom. The distance from Japan to the UK is quite far, so expect this delivery date to be a little bit longer than travelling man and Amazon. The estimated delivery date is about 1 to 2 weeks, but take that with a pinch of salt. Think of it as a fun purchase to just forget about and then be surprised when it does arrive at your doorstep. CDJapan's website isn't particularly user-friendly in comparison to travelling man, eBay, or Amazon, but it's perfect for purchasing decently priced Japanese merchandise next to actually travelling to Japan. It's got manga, acrylic stands, stickers, and just anything you could think of. The manga is priced at a value you'd see on the shelves in something like Comic Zins or Book Off. However, the downside is the shipping cost across the UK. I got 5 volumes of Sweet Guy and 2 volumes of Girlfriend Who Doesn't Want to Take a Bath versus Boyfriend Who Absolutely Wants Her to Take a Bath. My purchase of 7 volumes came to a total of £17 for shipping. If you add up the shipping and the book costs, each volume averaged around £9, which is below average for the price of a single volume in the UK. So, if you can justify girl maths, then I'd recommend purchasing manga from here. Due to purchasing an incredibly niche series, I did have to purchase my order through their proxy shopping tab. It's essentially items that are not directly sold by CDJapan, but by third-party shops that sell via CDJapan. In regards to delivery though, it was immaculate. Not one of the delivery services thus far have gone through such an effort to package manga. All the manga I ordered arrive in pristine condition, despite travelling halfway across the world. I'm talking PSA 10 if I could grade it. Each manga was individually wrapped in plastic on top of being wrapped in bubble wrap and paper. I would even recommend purchasing manga in bulk through this website versus purchasing in bookstores in Japan. Manga can quickly take up space in a suitcase and is the #1 suspect for making a suitcase heavy. So unless there's an exclusive add-on for a book like art cards, autographs, or stickers, I'd recommend purchasing Japanese manga through this website. However, it was because of the art cards that I got gushing over magical girls while I was out there. That's how I justified my purchase. So do I see myself purchasing from CDJapan again? You bet I am! I mean, with non-translated manga such as Love After World Domination, One Room Dog, and Konchuki, how could I not? One thing to note as well when going through the website, you may need to search for your book with Romanji rather than full English, but you can easily get the translation off of AniList or My Anime List. These have been the main ways I personally purchase manga as an otaku in London. There are a few other ways to get manga in the UK, like attending conventions, secondhand bookstores, and renting them from libraries. I hope this video is useful for people who are based in the UK, or for anyone who plans to visit the UK anytime soon. And with that, I'm off to go read a book. Bye!